whilst still not bothering to hand in his project.
How did he manage that?
Well, I accumulated so many marks over the first 2.5 years, he didn't need the last 30%.
All right for summer.
Well, he's bright, though, you know. I tell you what, he does crosswords.
Oh, I do crosswords.
Yeah, but not the sun one. I'm talking about proper ones.
No, I do the... Do you know the mirror? I do the quiz word in that. Sort of general knowledge quiz.
Yeah, well, we're talking about, you know, like the times.
I don't even understand the ruddy clues in them.
No.
I won't do them.
Yeah, well, the other worrying thing is he can do them in moments. You know, take the rest of us plebs, several millennia.
How depressing.
I mean, he's actually finished it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's finished it before I get bored enough to start inserting rude words. That's how quick he does them.
That must be incredibly depressing.
It is. It is. It's like living with Fred Housego when he's around.
Oh dear. Yeah, I know somebody like that. He's got a degree in mathematics. He's a member of Mensa. Does a crossword in the Spectator. He works as a dustman.
Depressing, isn't it, eh?
Sad character. Sad character.
I hate being surrounded by clever people. They remind me of my own inadequacies.
I quite like being around clever people, to be honest. It makes a change.
No, mate, no.
I don't actually believe you, Ian.
What?
That you don't like being around clever people.
Would I? Well, take Al. There you go, there's an example.
Now, don't knock Al, it's a season of goodwill.
Not till tomorrow, it isn't.
It's the season, not the day.
Anyway, you can talk, you hate it.
Well, that's true, yes.
Yes.
It's like, you know...
So it's business as usual in the Wolfie household?
Absolute. Well, no, I suppose we'll have the family round and all that sort of business. Synthetic bonhomie and all that.
Oh, dear God. You are going to have a miserable time, aren't you?
I'll just need to... If you believe in Christianity, which I'm sort of 50-50 about, I think that's what Christmas should be about. All this commercial rip-off, I just think it's totally tacky.
Yeah, but...
We've totally lost the meaning of Christmas, and all that. It's that side of it that totally depresses me.
Well, isn't it just an excuse to have a good time?
Yeah, basically, it's another good excuse for the toy makers to make a blooming fortune out of people who can't afford it a lot of the time.
Yes, and I've certainly contributed to them this year.
Yes, and so have I.
How about this for a politically incorrect present for my niece?
Yeah,
Sorry?
Go on.
The biggest smeg-off water pistol you can find.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Absolutely great.
So she can give my nephew a soaking. Because it was rather one-sided last summer, you see, because he had this, you know, these ones that fire 30 yards?
Oh, the ones that then sort of cylinder things on them.
Yeah, that's right. Well, she didn't have one, so she kept getting a soaking. So we bought the biggest one we could find today, complete with 2 spare cartridges and an ammo belt. He's going to get drummed. He's going to be sick.
Excellent. Very good.
Yeah, politically correct, but at least it's non-sexist.
Political correctness is a load of crap.
Oh, exactly. I can't be doing with it.
No,
Too hard,
I
can't. Too hard.
Tell her a quick joke that's totally politically incorrect.
Is it broadcastable?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, that's fair enough, then.
To do with disability, so I like it.
Fair enough.
Couple married to each other, both disabled. And they find out the wife's pregnant. Oh, wonderful. So they rush down the doctor, so he confirms it. And he sort of can't help noticing they're both disabled, so offers them counselling, you know, in case the baby's born able-bodied.
Boom, boom! Oh, no, that's sick!
It's funny.
Well, yeah, it is funny, but it's also very sick. I'll just write that one down, if you don't mind.
No, I'll tell you something. I told that to a friend of mine who's able-bodied, and he thought it was terrible. I told it to some friends of mine who were disabled, and I fell apart laughing.
Funny that. Anyway, what do you put that down to?
Political correctness, basically.
Well, maybe it's the way you're conditioned. You know, you're conditioned to think that certain topics are taboo.
That's exactly right.
As far as humour goes. But you see, my bottom line is nothing is taboo, and you should be able to take the mick out of anything.
Totally.
And if people can't hack it, then that's people's problems. I mean, I'll tell a joke. Say, for example, I'll do a joke about dyslexia, right? And I get all these people saying, you shouldn't take the mickey out of dyslexia, I'm dyslexic. Well, then the next night, you tell a joke about something else, I don't know, Spanish people, and they're falling about laughing at that one.
Oh,
That's hilarious, because it's Spanish, but not...
Yeah, it's like you can't tell jokes about black people, but you can say what you like about the French, nobody cares less.
Well, yes, and I take full advantage of being able to say what I like about the French.
I hate the French as well.
Do you know that somebody complained once to the radio authority that I was racist because of some remarks I made about the French, and the radio authority got onto us and said, what's all this about then? You're being racist, you. And I said, well, how can I possibly be racist against my own race? And I said, we'll get back to you on this. This was 6 years ago. We still haven't heard from them.
Yeah, it could be nationalist, I suppose.
Well, why not? What's wrong with that?
Nothing at all.
Yeah, they burn our lambs, don't they, eh?
Yep. Tell you another politically incorrect joke.
Lovely.
Helen, you remember heard about a lady called Helen Keller? American.
This isn't round the block in...
No. She was born deaf, dumb and blind.
Yeah, there was a terrible joke going round that I certainly wouldn't tell on the radio. It was around the block in 60 days or something.
Oh, dear boy. Now, this is a chap walks into the room and she's sitting at a table, running her fingers over the cheese grater. So he goes up to her and signs to her, what are you doing? She signs back to him, I'm reading an extremely violent book.
Oh, no, I'm going to get a fatwa out on me, aren't I?
I think it's wonderful.
Well, listen, we'll cast you into oblivion. Don't enjoy Christmas in the slightest.
Oh, listen, I've got a Christmas carol for you.
Oh, lovely.
It's sung to Away in a Manger.
And you're going to sing it as well?
No.
Oh.
I cannot sing, so I'll read it as a poem.
Okay.
Right, so you're sitting comfortably.
You'll begin.
Away with John Major, his party is dead. It's time for the leaving, because Labour's ahead. Portillo's a head case, John Redwood's gone mad. Our country's collapsing, the whole thing's gone bad. Paddy Ashdown is useless, his party's a joke. No points and no posture, what a pig in a poke. Now, back to the Tories, they're all of a heap. Protect us, O Jesus, ere we die in our sleep. The darkness is lightning, and new kingdoms are come. So look to the future, and new dawn's begun.
We'll keep the red flag flying here then, Wolfie.
Do my best.
Did you write that yourself?
Yeah, it took me about 20 minutes the other night.
Well, you're a poet and you didn't know it. I'll tell you what, can you just hang on there, because there's something I want to ask you. 754-123 in Wolverhampton, T36, T35 in Shrewsbury. What we want is your bestest Christmas present. What's the best Christmas present? What you ever got? I'm going to fire whoever writes this stuff. That's what I'm going to do. And we'll be back. We're going to speak to Warrow Burt and some others. You want to join them? 754-123 in Wolverhampton, T36, T35 in Shrewsbury. We're back after these.
Miss? Yes, Jenny? Miss, I want to be an angel like Sarah. Miss? Yes, Jenny? Miss, one of the three wise men's gone to the loo. Miss? Yes, Jenny? We bought you a box of Quality Street. Oh, Jenny.
Magic moments with Quality Street. Now, can you identify this sound? If you think you know what it is, go to McDonald's and you can get an extra value meal for only £2.88, which compared to the cost of buying the same items separately gives you a saving of...
At your Virgin Megastore, we're serving up Christmas on a plate. Make your seasonal gift selections from Jurassic Park. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Sleepless in Seattle.
This is what single people do. They try other people on and see how they fit.
And the unpredictable Michael Barrymore live. All dished up on video at a steaming $10.99 each. And for every £10 spent, get a money off voucher for $95. Grab a slice at your new Virgin Megastore, 46 Pride Hill, Shrewsbury, where Mega meets more music, video and games. Open 7 days a week.
Midnight Line on Beacon and WABC. Sorry, there's a card thrust in front of me from A to B cars in Telford, who say best wishes for Christmas and the New Year. The best ride in Telford, taxis that is. Well, don't drink and drive, you're absolutely right. Have a gobsmackingly good Christmas. And that's from Debs, Julie, Pete and Tony and all at A to B. Well, you're very kind people. Thank you, very glad. Warrow Burt.
Warrow Ian.
What can we do for you?
I just phoned up to...
It's Christmas Eve, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost here now, isn't it?
Well, actually, the winter solstice yesterday, you're celebrating on the right day.
Oh, the 21st?
Yeah.
That's the shortest day, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, you know, like, during the summer solstice,
Yeah.
all these druids get the kit off and go dancing on the heath and things like that. Do they do the same thing in winter?
No, it really sense.
And if not, why not?
No, they go out and kill all the cattle and eat everything they can.
No, I think they just do dancing, don't they, druids? I don't think they're into stuff like that.
Well,
I could just smell the lawsuit from where I'm sitting. No, they don't do anything like that. A very nice bunch of people, actually, I think you'll find.
well, I'm glad you got my birthday card.
Well, I did, and I thank you very much for it.
Yeah, you should have the Christmas card as well as post them at the same time.
Yeah, it's probably in pile B over there, you see.
Yeah, I was just found up about this judge and this stipendiary magistrate who said they should bring flogging back.
Yes, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Are they right?
Well, when the strictest sentence they can bring down on somebody for torturing an old age pensioner is 1 year's youth custody and 3 years probation.
Just hold on a second. Al? Hello? Are we on an economy drive here or something?
Sorry?
Well, this list you've given me is no bigger than a postage stamp.
Yes, you've run out of paper, mate.
We've run out of paper. Here you go. Here, have some paper. There you go. That's it. It's all your A4, and it's all yours, and you can use it.
Thank you.
That's quite all right. He's just had his Christmas present, but he doesn't realise it. Right, sorry, stipendiary magistrates and flogging and things.
Yeah, so the strongest sentence they could bring down on the one was the 1 year's youth custody, and on his mates 3 years probation.
Oops. Right, so that isn't hard enough. Now, why was that the maximum?
That's the rules.
So that
They didn't try him for murder.
Well, I was going to say that is the maximum permitted by whatever they were charged with or convicted of. So therefore, if you've got to ask yourself the question, why weren't they charged with a more serious offence?
God knows. The DPP are great, are they?
Well, it's now the Crown Prosecution Service.
Well.
And I've heard some right things about them, I can tell you. Yeah, okay, but then you see somebody, in order to qualify for a harsh punishment, somebody has to commit a harsh crime and they have to be convicted of it, don't they?
Yeah. But torturing somebody and then murdering them is going to be pretty harsh. I was convicted of that, so we can say it.
Well, okay, I'll take your word for it, but then I don't understand why if the
I think it was their age.
Now, should that make a difference?
Well, the one was 16 when he was tried, I believe.
And how old was he when he committed the offence?
I don't know. It's all right, I've been on the wobbly water, so I'm a bit knolled.
Bit nist?
A bit knolled.
Oh, yes, that's quite good. Get knolled this Christmas.
Yeah, get on the wobbly water and get knolled.
Yeah, I think, you see, without actually looking at the case or knowing the case, I find it very strange that if there was a weight of evidence and a safe conviction in a more serious charge, that those charges weren't brought.
Well, I think it's all going to pot now, crime and
well, what good would flogging do? Suppose on January the 1st, 1995, it re-entered the statute books and we said, right, okay, we've got flogging, we can flog people now.
Oh, well, so we don't know until we've tried it again. We tried it before, did it work? We don't know.
You see, my argument is that no punishment at all can ever be held up as a deterrent.
It's true, but as I say, I've never been one of the Angler flogging brigade, but I think it's time we start coming down hard.
But then, you see, I would again argue that we do actually come down hard, and that this concept that jail is a soft option is largely perpetuated by the media, because the media have got the teeth into it, you know, and it's something that makes people mad when they read it.
They go to, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they get cross, don't they? People get cross when they read about IRA prisoners sending out for lobster.
Yeah,
people get cross about it, and that's exactly what they're about, you know. Let's get people cross, let's get a reaction.
It depends which jail they go to. Let's say in maximum security, I bet they don't get that privileges like that, but in the more open prisons there will be.
Well, the IRA prisoners were in a high security prison. But I just wonder, you know, anybody who tells me that prison is easy, I suspect has never actually been there.
Yeah, I've never been. I don't think it's easy. Yeah.
I suppose, you know, to some people, it doesn't matter what you do to them. They're just going to go ahead and do what they want to do, and there's no way that putting them in prison, flogging them or anything is going to make a difference to that. Hanging will, because it kills them.
Yeah, I think people want natural justice now, though, rather than criminal justice.
Natural justice?
Yeah.
Right.
It should come down to emotions as well as the law.
Well, I've often thought that maybe the law would better serve the people it's meant to serve if there was an element of emotion in it, and if there was an element of retribution in it.
Yeah, and they shouldn't give maximum sentences, they should give minimum sentences. That way they know when they're going to come out, and the people know when they're going to be stuck in till.
But you see, I think that all that prison achieves is that it takes people out of society and prevents them committing crimes, unless the crime happens to be drug running, which seems to be rife in British prisons.
Yeah, but while I'm out of society, doesn't that mean that people are safe?
Yes, it does. But what I'm saying is I don't believe that it has a deterrent effect. I don't believe any punishment does, because people who commit crimes generally have one thing in common, and that is they don't think they're going to get caught.
Yeah, I'll go on the 3 strikes principle. I've said it all along.
That's 3 convictions of any description and you're out.
Well, 3 serious convictions, yeah. You're out of society for life.
But then you'd have to mark down what was a serious conviction and what wasn't.
Well, anything from, say, burglary, mugging above, or assault.
So you'd grade crimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, car crimes don't count, except for stealing.
When I get round to rewriting the judicial system, I'll certainly bear that in mind.
Yeah, well, you can always ask me for some good tips. Anyway, I'll get off.
And you're out. Okay then, Bert.
I'll get off. Look after yourselves.
And you.
Have a good solstice.
And you.
Go and celebrate the Lord Bacchus.
Bacchus, there's the god of wine, isn't he?
Yeah.
Bloke.
Wine and orgies.
What a guy. What a job. And you never see that down the job centre, do you? God of wine and... God of wine and... Well, yeah. I suppose there's going to be drawbacks, isn't it, if you're the god of wine and orgies? Why do you never see that down the job centre? Wanted, god of wine and orgies.
Well, I'd be the first one there.
Yeah, I'll beat you in the queue.
Slightly behind Noel, I think.
Okie dokie then, Bert.
Yeah, look after yourself,
And you.
Bye.
Ta-ra. Midnight Line on Beacon and WABC. That was Bert, and where was that rather pathetic list that young Nicklin brought in only a moment ago? Why, here it is. Oops, there it went. On this line, oh, it is the lad himself. It's the Ketley Junta. Good morning.
Good morning, Ian.
Well, good morning, Noel.
Way I.
Oh, this is over half a bottle.
No, I've had half a bottle. I know. Funnily enough, Ian, tonight I agree with Ken partly.
Which part?
Well, the first part. I mean, it doesn't always make sense to me, but tonight I don't...
See, I rather fear, Noel, that when he starts making sense to you, he's not making sense to the rest of us.
Yeah, I can understand that. But, I mean, he tried to say tonight he changed his bloody mind to what he was. He was a queer, and tonight he's not a queer. What is he?
Well, what's a queer, Noel?
I don't know, Ian. That's what I'm trying to make.
Don't you think that's rather a derogatory term?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, all right. I don't know how to express what I'm trying to say. But listening to Ken tonight, he was trying to say, once upon a time he was such and such a person.
Once upon a time he was homosexual.
Yeah, and now he's trying to say he's not. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So what is he?
He's Ken.
I mean, I'm not trying to condemn Ken. God bless Ken. I think Ken's a glad bloke. I mean, you know, I listen to...
haven't you?
Pardon?
Never mind. You think Ken's a great bloke. What does it matter? I mean, does sexuality have to be static?
Yeah, I know it.
See, somebody... I mean, I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that this is true, Noel, but somebody did actually ring up and claim that they'd had a gay affair with you.
Hmm.
Is there any truth to this?
No way.
No?
No way.
Oh, you won your bet, Al.
Listen, Ian.
Yes?
What I would like to make point, or I've made my point with Ken, and I don't always agree with him, but tonight I did half and half agree with Ken.
Oh, which, I still haven't worked out what you agree with.
Well, I agree with what he at least Ken admits what he is, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah, that's the part I agree with.
Right.
Yeah, there's some people who think there's something and they don't agree with it. But Ken is honest to what he is.
Okie dokie, just hang on there, Noel, if you can make it through the news. We'll be back with you just after 1 o'clock. 754-123 in Wolverhampton, T36, T35 in Shrewsbury. It's the Midnight Line. on Beacon and WABC. It's a free-for-all, so you can talk about absolutely anything you want to talk about. And we're back, babies, after this. Beacon Radio
News. 1 o'clock news, this is Mairead Devlin. Russian warplanes have launched fresh strikes against the Chechen capital Grozny. Earlier, up to 50 people were reported dead after the first daytime air raids on the city. Moscow expert Peter Frank from the University of Essex says Boris Yeltsin may yet regret sending his forces in.
Nobody knows who's taking the decisions. Nobody knows whether Yeltsin's taking the decisions. And yet, at the end of the day, he's the person that has to carry the can. And that can may prove to be a very big burden indeed, a major political handicap.
The Irish government is releasing 9 Republican prisoners today in response to the IRA ceasefire. 30 others, including Nessun Quinlivan, who escaped from Brixton prison, are being allowed out on Christmas parole. The move's being condemned by unionist politicians, but former terrorist Eddie Kinner says the British government should make similar concessions to Loyalist prisoners.
They feel a bit let down, a bit disappointed that there hasn't been a gesture over Christmas. I mean, they feel it. I mean, the ceasefires went on long enough for the government to give some kind of gesture.
A Briton has been arrested in Thailand on drugs charges. Brent Sterling from Perth is accused of possessing heroin and cocaine for sale. The 29-year-old was arrested at a restaurant in a police operation. He could face the death penalty if convicted. Syria has officially announced new talks with Israel. They'll take place next week in Washington. Damascus suspended its 3-year peace talks with Israel in February in protest at the Hebron massacre, where 30 Palestinians were killed by a Jewish settler at a mosque. The Great Christmas Getaway is expected to start in earnest later today, with trains, planes and roads all packed with travellers. British Rail are laying on extra services, while drivers are being urged to delay journeys until Saturday. And Heathrow Airport spokesman Clive Thomas says they're expecting nearly 160,000 passengers today.
We're preparing for our busiest Christmas ever, with 1.7 million people expected to use Heathrow over the holiday period. Our busiest day will actually be January the 2nd, when we expect 165,000 travellers to pass through Heathrow.
Independent Radio News.
Beacon Radio News.
The latest satellite picture, direct from John Warner Satellite, Meteosat 4.
Freezing fog becoming widespread, even more widespread and even more dense. The freezing fog, though, should clear slowly this morning as winds freshen and cloud moves in. Top temperature today, a whopping 4 Celsius, 39 degrees Fahrenheit. The outlook for Christmas Eve, less cold, dry and cloudy. Christmas Day, milder with some occasional rain. The air quality is very poor, and I'm going back to using aerosols because it's now minus 7 Celsius, 18 degrees Fahrenheit.
The best music on the best station.
Occasionally, participants on this phone show may make statements that subsequently turn out to be false or untrue. This radio station will do its best to correct any information or statement which transpires to be false or untrue in as reasonable time as possible. Statements made on this phone show do not necessarily reflect the view of the radio station.
Midnight Lion on Beacon and WABC. We're back with him, the Catley Junta. Oh, God. Hello?
Midnight Lion on. Good morning.
I've heard that bit, Noel.
Hello, Ian.
I heard that 6 seconds ago.
Hello?
Can you turn it down?
Yeah, hang on, Ian.
And flatten your face
I
with a
can
shovel.
understand. Hang on, Ian. Can you turn it down?
Yes, I've heard that bit as well. Now then, Noel.
I thought I'd lost you.
No, you're here, fortunately.
Oh, God bless you.
What can we do for you?
Well, you were the first. You were the first part of what I had to say. Oh, I agree with Ken.
Yes.
But what I would like to say, Ian, apart from Ken, yeah, it's not very often I agree with him, but you know.
Yes, I think we've established that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go on from that. The last night you were on, I think it was Tuesday, you had a person on called Anne, and she was a flower lady from Manchester.
Yes.
Do you remember her?
Flowers by Design.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think she was a very conceited person.
Well, why is that?
Because she said she didn't like some of the comments that come on the Midnight Line. She said she couldn't wait for some of them to go off.
Yeah, well, neither kiss.
Yeah,
I
okay.
feel exactly the same sometimes.
Pardon?
I feel exactly the same sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I feel the bloody same.
Well, there you
I'm
go.
perhaps I'm one of them.
Well, who? Oh, no, never.
No, well, I think the Midnight Line is one of the, is made up of silly buggers like me, if you like.
I see.
No, but why should that silly cow?
Oh, that's a bit strong.
Sorry,
though.
I'll
Out of order.
repeat
Bad
that.
call. Bad call.
All right, I'll repeat that. That person should not have said that, she should be so conceited to say that, she wants to listen to one kind of person, doesn't she?
No, I think everybody's entitled to have an opinion about what they hear.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, and we've all got a little bit to say, but why should that person come on and say...
Well, why shouldn't she?
Well, yeah, okay, why shouldn't she? But
She got a right, no?
Pardon?
She's got a right.
Yes, she got a right. Apart from her, there was one person came on like a week tonight, week Thursday.
Do you know what time?
Yeah, his name was Brian, and he tried to put on what he called a balanced view.
Yeah.
Okay.
About what?
I don't know, because my daughter recorded the program, and she was going to get on and say, she was going to get on and protect her dad.
But she didn't.
No, she didn't, because she hasn't got the guts
Well,
like I
there
have.
you go, you see.
Pardon? Yeah.
So you do know what he was talking about, then?
But I didn't know, because I didn't hear the bloody...
Well, I'll tell you what he was talking about. He was saying that you're homophobic, and I tend to agree with him.
You were saying what?
That you're homophobic.
What's that supposed to mean?
You don't like homosexual people.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, there you go, then. What are you arguing about?
All right. You tell me, Ian. I'm not homophobic, what you call it. What was he?
What's he?
Yeah.
He's homosexual.
Well, then I'll be bloody sorry for him. I'm glad about that bloody hellfire.
Well, what are you glad about,
I'm glad he's a bloody... Oh, God, Ian.
So what are you, then? You're a fine, upstanding, white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, heterosexual, red-blooded prat, aren't you?
You made my night.
No, you're just showing yourself up to be ignorant, Noel.
No, I haven't.
You scored 3 marks. 10 out of 10.
I've made myself my point.
Yes, you have. You're a total narrow-minded homophobe.
No, I'm sorry, Ian.
Yes, you are. You live in a little right-wing universe. Well, people who draw the dole are looked down on by you. People who are different from you, Noel, you fear.
Well, if that's the case, I'm very sorry.
No, I'm just telling you where it's at.
But I don't agree with you personally. I mean, I've worked all my flipping life, Ian.
Yeah.
I've worked all my flipping life. I don't ask for anything that I'm not entitled to. But these...
And other people do they?
Well, they do. You've got to admit they do.
See, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but you see, we had this thing called the Bevan Report around about 1945, 46, and that introduced this thing called a welfare state.
Yeah.
That we operate.
Yeah.
And therefore people are entitled to it. Because you see, we've grown up a bit, and we don't put people in poor houses anymore. We allow people a modicum of respect. You see, we allow them to keep a bit of dignity these days.
I don't understand your bloody way of thinking.
Which bit don't you understand? That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which bit don't you understand, Noel? The bit about the welfare state?
Yeah, that's the bit I don't understand.
Oh, so are you saying we shouldn't have a welfare state?
I think everybody should try and earn their own living. I think everybody should try and make their own way in life. That's my way of looking at it. Perhaps I'm wrong, I don't know.
So we just hang people out to dry, do we?
I mean, I just don't know. Ian, I've worked all my flaming life.
Yeah? And what are you getting now?
Nothing.
Yes, you are.
What am I getting? You tell me.
What do you spend? How do you buy your whiskey, Noel?
Because I've worked all my life.
Yes, so therefore you must be getting something.
You slow down a bit.
You must be getting something.
Yeah, I'm getting what I'm entitled to.
And so are other people.
How do you make that out?
Because we have a welfare state that says they have an entitlement to
You've
it.
got a welfare state who are doing bugger all.
Well, they're paying you.
Sorry?
They're paying you.
Yes, but I...
Oh,
Here.
but you're all right.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, I forgot. You're a fine, upstanding citizen, aren't you?
Look, now, slow down. Look,
Sorry, I forgot totally about that, Noel.
look, Ian, I've worked all my... from... How can I say? From 1944, right, to the present day, and I've paid my stamp, and did everything I'm supposed to do, and I've drawn what I'm supposed to do. Now, people today who haven't paid the stamp or who haven't done nothing, they're expecting the same gratuity.
Whereas what we should actually be doing is either putting them in poor houses or letting them starve.
Oh, I don't know.
Is that what you do, Noel?
You're trying to make me sound very, very, very terrible.
I don't have to do that, Noel.
What?
You're perfectly capable of doing that yourself.
All right. Well, sorry, Ian. Perhaps I am. But that's the way I feel. I'm sorry, Ian.
Okay, have you got a dictionary?
Yeah?
Go and look up bigot.
Look up what, love?
Bigot.
No, come on, Ian.
No, you're an old bigot.
You're not bloody right.
You're right. Do you want to vote? Do you want me to put it to a vote?
Ian, you're siding on the bloody side of the idle bastards that's in this world.
Well, that's quite enough from you, Noel. There's absolutely no need for language like that. Go and look up bigot in the dictionary and you should find quite a good description of yourself. There we go, Noel, full of the festive spirit and the joys of Christmas. Next on the lines is John. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, John.
It's another ray of sunshine from Mr. Junta there.
Oh, happy Jack over there.
Oh, God. You're actually the old senile delinquent.
A senile delinquent?
Senile delinquent.
I do like that one. I write that one down. If we ever let him back, that's what we'll call him.
I wouldn't let him back.
You reckon?
Oh, yeah. I'd put a stop on his phone so he can't phone your number.
Sounds fair enough to me.
I'm sure BT could arrange that somehow.
Oh, I would reckon so. we have friends in low places.
Yeah. Well, you asked earlier on about Christmas presents.
Oh, yes, the most exciting Christmas present that you ever got.
I don't know if it was the most exciting one I ever got, but I think the most memorable one I ever got was when I was probably about 6 or 7. We didn't have a lot of money, so my dad, I used to have lots of, he used to have little soldiers. He used to get Britain soldiers. Remember them Britons? The company Britons?
Were they the little,
They did lead ones as well, but they did the, like, plastic ones. And you could get cowboys and Indians and German soldiers and British soldiers and...
Were they about 3 inches or 2 inches high?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
I know the ones.
And you get little tanks and little guns and all that sort of stuff for them. Well, I used to have lots of these things. My aunt used to buy them for me. And my dad made me this castle, which was it was a work of art. And painted it white, and he put it in the corner of a room. This went unhappily enough, so I played for that. I loved that toy. Until one day, one during the night, I got up, and like kids do, sort of, you get up and you're sort of asleep, you don't know where you are, and I needed to go to the toilet.
Oh, no, I think I...
And, in your befuddled state, I mean, I get it now, like, befuddled state, but, when you were a kid, you sort of see this white shape in the corner of a room and decide that's the bog.
You didn't.
So that ruined my perfect, good castle.
But attracted the neighbourhood cats, no doubt.
Oh, yes. But that's the most memorable one.
Ah, and irreplaceable as well.
Yes. But it was made with such love by my dad as well.
Ah, how did your dad take it?
I can't really remember.
So that's what you think of me castle, is it?
He probably took it with some rubber gloves outside, actually.
And set fire to it. You can't blame the man.
But I know what kids like. I caught my little boy doing that as well. I remember about 2 or 3 years ago, he was about sort of 7, and we were sitting in the front room watching TV, and we thought, what the hell was that noise? And it sounded like sort of burst pipe or something. And he was in the toilet. He was in the kitchen, lifting up the lid for the flip-top bin, peeing into there.
Oh, no.
Fast asleep. I didn't know where he was. And they always say, like, if someone's sleepwalking, you shouldn't wake them up. I mean, how true that is, I don't know.
And I suppose as well, if you're a kid, you can't rely on the time-honoured excuse, can you? Oh, well, I'd had a few scoops.
Yeah. So all you could do is sort of let them finish and sort of, point them back in the direction of his bed.
I suppose a really smart kid would tell you it wasn't their fault they had too many E's in the diet.
Too many what?
Too many E numbers in the diet.
Oh, no, he doesn't get any of that stuff.
Oh, didn't he?
Oh, no.
Why did he go slightly...
He did it a couple of times, and that was it. Yeah, but he's never done it since. That was just one of those occasions. No, he doesn't get... Oh, we make a point of not giving him any of those things. The worst stuff was that beta-carotene stuff, and you use it in orange drinks. And that's the worst stuff.
Oh, is it? Oh,
You know, the really highly coloured diluting orange and diluting sort of blackcurrant drinks.
I shall certainly keep off the gin and orange this Yuletide, then. What have you got him? That's the big question. What's he got this year?
Oh, this year? He's got lots of Action Man stuff. He's got a tank. He's got a helicopter. And he's got a Jeep. A couple of Action Men.
Hold on a minute. This is the Action Man helicopter and the Action Man Jeep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That took me 3 Christmases to collect that lot.
I know. I remember. I used to have the helicopter, but it had the thing on the side, on behind the cockpit. It had this little thing you pushed in and let it go. It was on like a spring, and that made the blades go round, didn't it?
Oh, well, I never actually got as far as...
Oh, you say, well...
I had the... What did I have?
You must have came from a poorer background than me, then.
Oh, no, I had the Jeep, and I had the space rocket.
Space rocket?
Yeah, they had like a landing craft.
You sure you didn't do too many illicit...
No, not at that age. Maybe too many E numbers. We didn't actually know about E numbers when I was that age. No, you used to get the Action Man lunar module. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
I only threw it out the other week. And you could get a spacesuit for it.
Hang on, but how old were you at the time?
I'd be about 23, I suppose. No, I was about 10. So
Hang on, they hadn't landed the moon then, so how do you know what a lunar module looked like?
Ah, no, but they had the bits, you know, the bits of the rocket?
Yeah.
The top bit. It was just based on, to use the technical term, the top bit of the rocket.
The top bit.
And there was a little space where Action Man sat, and you got loads of stars with it. I remember that. The bigger the purchase, the more stars you got, and you had to save 21 stars, and you sent them away to Palitoy, and they sent you back another Action Man. Because I had 4.
No, I've never heard of the space one.
Yeah, we had the space one. What else did I used to have loads of uniforms for him.
Yeah.
Or them.
Sort of village people type.
Yeah, those would be the ones. Yeah. I thought Action Man lost it when he got the real hair.
Oh no, that was... I can't... Well, they always had real hair, didn't they?
No, they
always had the sort of crew cut, bog brush type haircut, didn't they?
That's right, but it used to be painted on in the 60s.
Oh, see, I wasn't born then.
Oh, well, thanks, John. And then the scar on the face. They've
still got the scar.
The dueling scar.
And they've got a tattoo now as well.
You're joking,
No, they've got... no, honestly, yeah, they've got the Who Dares Wins tattoo, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't...
No, they've got an Action Man tattoo, and, like, if they're not a real Action Man unless they've got this tattoo, that's what it says. And you can get a couple of baddies as well, but they haven't got the tattoos because they're not real Action Men. They're the really evil ones. There's Dr. X. He's got the Fu Manchu moustache and the crooked nose and all that stuff.
I'm fascinated by Action Man's moustache. Not his moustache. His tattoo. Has it got Mam and Dad on it?
No, it's just like a sort of... It's like the Action Man logo. That's all it is.
He who dares wins, Rodders. And all that.
Yeah.
Well, because I had a look round, and it seems that they're still selling more or less the same sort of stuff they were selling in the 60s, with a few add-ons.
I mean, they have got a space one now. I mean, I think my mum's got them that, which is like the full sort of breathing out apparatus for the space core and all that stuff. But I mean, I used to have lots of it, and it's sort of thing. There's too many kids into all these sort of high-tech things now. It's all the sort of computer games and stuff. It's not actually teaching them anything. And it's taken away people's imagination.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it does take away creativity.
Yeah, you've actually been told. You've been told what to think, what to do, how to react. It's like, you ever seen kids playing these games? I mean, I know what it's doing myself. When I was a kid, it was always the first Space Invaders came out, and it was like you had. When this sort of spaceship came across, you had like 21 seconds to do such and such and all this sort of stuff. And it was all like timed. So it's not actually, all this sort of rubbish about its reactions is nonsense because they know the sequence of things.
Yes, you ultimately become part of the machine, don't you? You become part of the computer program.
Yeah, it's like something off of sort of 2001.
And the best description of a computer I ever heard was a high-speed imbecile. Because it can't do anything that it hasn't been told to do. It can't think, so it's a high-speed imbecile.
Yeah.
And then if you follow that through, the person who becomes part of the machine also becomes a high-speed imbecile. I mean, I'm just as bad. I play them mindlessly for hours.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, mindlessly, isn't it?
Being a Luftwaffe pilot.
I mean, it's just, you're not actually, you just, your brain's on standby, you just do it, you're not actually learning it, you're not thinking, really. Everything you're thinking is done at a sort of subconscious level.
Well, I did shoot down 7 Allied fighters the other night. Does that count?
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You're not actually consciously thinking about things.
Some of the interactive games, I think you do.
Yeah, I mean the sort of Dungeons and Dragons type things, sort of adventure games.
Yeah, the adventure games. I found a great deal of fun.
You ever played games like there was a game called The Uninvited. And there was 2 or 3 in the same series. There's a company called Mindscape did them.
I've heard of the company, yeah.
It was the sort of thing, you went in, you came across, you had the story at the beginning, you crashed your car and all that stuff, and you found there was a house on the hill, and you went up to the house, and you couldn't get into the house, but you sort of go around, you had to investigate things, you had to do certain things to get into the house and find out more about things. And it's not actually graphics, it's like you walk into a room, and you've got a picture of the wall, and you can examine everything in the room, and sort of pick things up, and, you know, take things out with you and stuff. A lot of them had a sort of, there was like The Uninvited was a sort of Hammer horror type scenario. Another one was a Dungeons and Dragons one. Another one was a detective novel. There's one called Lost in Las Vegas.
Oh, I've been there.
Which is you wake up in a room next to a guy who's dead. He's like
must have been one hell of a night.
Yeah, he's signed over his debt to sort of £100,000 to you, but it's owed to the mafia, and you've got like 24 hours to pay them back, and you've only got about $12 in your pocket.
Right, which of course happens to most people at some stage during their life.
And it's sort of thing, you go down, you thought, well, I'll play one of those win $1 million on the one-armed bandits. You get those machines in Las Vegas, things like that.
Oh yes.
But the thing is, you've got to have like $20 to play it, but you've only got sort of like 12 or 15 or something.
So where'd you get the other 8?
Yes, I'm saying, so you've got to sort of go through all these different stages to get it. That actually, it's like problem solving, so that's more, that's better, and it's just as enjoyable.
Yeah,
blasting aliens.
I must admit, I like both. Actually, I don't like blasting aliens. I like the flight simulators.
Yeah.
And I like the text adventures. I think they're a great deal of fun, and I can lose
like
myself.
The really old ones, like the Hitchhiker's Guide one.
I've got that, yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's.
I could never work out how to get the Babel fish.
Oh, I never even got that far.
Well, every time the machine delivers one, a cleaning robot comes in and cleans it up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what height, you can deflect them to the Babel fish to different heights, but another cleaning robot comes in, and it doesn't matter what you do. And I never quite got past that, so if anybody can tell us how you get past that in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, we'll be jolly grateful.
I mean, after the Volgons destroyed Earth, and you were left with the Subetha thumb, and you sort of pressed the button, everything blew up, and you found yourself completely alone, you didn't know where you were, that's where I got stuck.
Ah, right, what you have to do is, it says it's dark.
Yes.
Yeah? What you have to do is type in examine the dark.
Yeah.
And it says you examine the dark and you find a light switch.
Something as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really some of the times I spend hours and hours and hours thinking about something, and it turns out there's the most obvious thing, and you feel like a right smeghead.
You realise because of this conversation, your listening public is probably half by now, so they're probably all sort of comatose on the floor with boredom.
No, not
about
at all.
Computers.
People love computers. Every household will have one in the next 50 years, you watch.
Oh yeah, you can just see Mr. Homophobia himself, can't you?
Yeah, well he's 67.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I'm joking here, sorry.
Ain't going to be an issue, really. Listen, we've got to move on.
Okay, then.
All right, well, thank you very much for that.
Okay.
Enjoy your Christmas.
And you.
Ta-ra.
Bye, then. Bye.
We got Adrian next. Good morning.
Good morning, Ian.
Good morning. What can we do you for?
Right. Well, first of all, I want to know what difference does it make to what sexual preferences people have?
Well, I've absolutely no idea. I mean, it's not compulsory.
I don't think it makes any difference. I mean, what people do in their bedroom is, what they do. I mean, I know plenty of heterosexual people who, perform plenty of or, you know, non-normal acts in their bedroom, but it doesn't make them, you know, any worse in society, does it? You know, once you know you're back out in the real world, then you can live your life normally. I can't see, you know, just because you might want to do it with another bloke or another woman, if you're a woman, you know, what does it really make any difference? I think people are just scared of maybe change and things that isn't normal to what we've been brought up to, you know, to learn.
Well, I would say it makes absolutely no difference to me, and as long as they don't make it compulsory, it will never make any difference to me.
That's right, and as long as they don't hurt anybody else, you know, and keep it to themselves, I mean, I just can't see what harm it does. I mean, you know, I'm normal. See, I've said that, normal. It's because what we've been brought up to believe, what is normal.
Well, exactly. I mean, if you start getting into trying to define what constitutes normal and what isn't, it's you get on real dodgy ground. And I think we tend to define normality by saying that most people do it. Like, is it normal for people to pay £1 to have a 6 billion zillion chance to one of winning a fortune? I don't think that is normal, is it?
It would be classed as normal if it happened that way all the time, and that's the way it always was, you know. People just get stuck in a certain situation, you know, and that's it, you know. How do we know we weren't meant to be male and male together, female and female, and only ever came together to produce children? You know, who knows, you know.
Yeah, maybe the human race was only meant to last one generation, and it all went horribly wrong due to a design error.
I mean, we don't know. I mean, you know, it's quite obvious relationships aren't meant to last in most cases. I mean, you know, look at the rate of them breaking down, you know. So maybe it was supposed to be the other way. You seem to hear a lot of stories where people with the same sex, you know, have very good, strong relationships. Who knows? I mean, I don't think a woman could understand a woman's body better than a woman. You know what I mean?
I'll just write that one down. I think I'll get back to it a bit later. Yeah.
They won't put up with people doing bad shows in the organisations. We're having to police ourselves because the government will not register us yet. We're still fighting for it.
So is the problem then what we could call rogue hypnotists?
Yeah, basically, as in every profession, there are some good and some bad. And we're all getting tarred with the same brush as the bad ones, and at the moment we seem to be suffering from hysteria. There are 1 or 2 people claiming that things have gone wrong with shows, and now everyone has jumped onto the bandwagon. No one's listening to anyone saying, I had a brilliant experience, I thoroughly enjoyed being hypnotised.
Well, in my own experience, I wouldn't say I was biased in this, but in my own experience, I've found that people who have been hypnotised generally come back and say, please do it again, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's what I always get.
And also, before, I mean, there's all sorts of arguments raging. There's one lady in I think it's Preston.
Yes, it is.
Who says that her daughter was hypnotised. She was told that she would experience a 10,000 volt electric shock. She was brought out of the hypnotic trance, and 2 hours later she died.
Yeah, it was 5 hours later.
Was it 5 hours? Yeah. Right. But she said that although it's unproved, there's a link. Now, what worries me about that, I know it's extremely sad that happened, but hey, she's absolutely right. There is no link. They can't prove a link. But the second thing is, she's on the time. She said, look, hypnotism can heal, so if it can heal, it can also do harm, which seems to me to be a very uncorroborated theory. In fact, something of a crackpot one.
Yes, it is. Everything she's saying has been disproven. There is no proof whatsoever that Sharon Taban had any long-lasting effect from the hypnosis. She didn't die because of hypnosis. She inhaled her own vomit and died. It is very, very unfortunate. I feel sorry for her mother. But blaming the hypnotist isn't getting anyone anywhere. Had it been his fault, I'm sure he'd have been sued for it by now. He'd have been in prison for manslaughter.
So would you like to see the 1952 Act? problem. Probably doesn't have a clue what they're doing in a lot of cases.
And ask them to sort out their problems.
Exactly. You've only got to look through the yellow pages at hypnotherapists and look at the initials they put after their names.
Yeah.
I don't recognise 99% of them.
They have no legal basis. There's not a national register. All of the schools have their own letters. There is no standardised body for whether you have these qualifications or not. At least with stage hypnotists, what we do is 100% out in the open. Everyone can see what we're doing.
And what's really interesting about the schools that allow their graduates in inverted commas to put the initials after the name is that they will use the what they like to think is a power base as a selling asset.
Yeah.
It's actually used as a commercial tool. It's in no way an indication of excellence. And I think that anybody who is thinking of going to a hypnotherapist should really bear that in mind. Look for the words Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts and look for a university.
Yeah, whenever I do a show, hypnotherapists like to knock stage hypnotists all the time.
The only because they don't make as much money.
Probably. At the end of shows, I have people coming up saying to me, look, I really trusted you, I felt happy with what you did, can you recommend a therapist? And obviously, I can't recommend therapists over the entire country. So what I tend to say is, go and look, but make sure they'll give you a free consultation and make sure they're happy for you to take a friend with you, because if they're not happy for you to have someone else there, then I wouldn't be happy to be alone with them. But I recommend people to go to hypnotherapists, so why do they see fit to say that what I'm doing is not valid and what they're doing is?
I suppose it's largely because stage hypnotism is more visible. That's why it's attracting the flack it's attracting. I mean, as to why hypnotherapists don't like it, well, I mean, that's their bag, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you reckon if you were recognised as an official body, you could police it effectively yourself?
Yes, as I say, the organisations do. The British Council polices themselves, FESH police themselves very well, very effectively. But obviously there are people outside the organisations who we have no jurisdiction over. Nobody does. And as someone described to me last night, they were talking about a hypnotist, and they said, well, maybe he should be taken into an organisation because he's like a rogue elephant. He's out there, and he either needs corralling or shooting, basically.
It's probably my mate, this, isn't it?
No, it wasn't, actually.
Wasn't it?
I know the person he was talking about. But, you know, if all of them, every stage hypnotist had to join and get national registration, at least then we'd know where we stood with everyone.
You see, what I find entirely interesting about the great hypnotism debate that's going on is that very few people who are levelling the criticisms actually understand the first thing about hypnotism.
That's right, because they will tell you in one breath that hypnotism doesn't exist, it's social compliance. In the next breath, they'll tell you that it can kill people. Which?
Well, exactly. It depends who you listen to. If you listen to Professor Wagstaff at Liverpool University, it's social compliance.
Yeah, exactly. And
does social compliance kill people? I mean, it could hypnotism could very well be social compliance. It does. I don't think that is.
It does it exist or doesn't it exist, and they can't make up their minds whether it exists. But they don't want us to do it just in case.
Well, exactly, yeah. I think the question, okay, let's assume that it is social compliance, then has social compliance ever killed anybody? Answer yes, when countries make you socially comply to go to war, but that's about it.
That's right, and in fact, if it is such a strong killer, why aren't the army using it?
Well, this was my argument when all this first hit the fan last year. My argument was that if you could kill people using hypnotism, I would be a mafia hitman.
Yeah, what right? I'd be making a fortune, and very easily. It doesn't work like that. If people don't want to do something under hypnosis, they won't do it. They will wake up of their own accord because they disagree with a suggestion you have given them.
And they don't want to know.
And if they don't want to know, they won't do it. No way, you can't hypnotise people without them knowing it. They have to want to be hypnotised to start with. The show I did tonight, I had 13 volunteers. One of them did not want to be hypnotised. He came up to challenge me. I sent him down to sit down again. He walked away going, yes, he didn't get me. Well, of course I didn't. he wasn't going to cooperate.
Yes, I usually find a sledgehammer works in that particular scenario.
Oh,
Across the back of the head.
It was at that stage. By the time he walked away, I thought, you've just shown the whole pub that you're incapable of concentrating for 10 minutes, and you're proud of it.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations, sir. Yeah. The rest of them, I actually worked 6 of them. So at the end of the evening, I went and chatted to everyone and said, do you feel okay? Yeah, we feel fine, we've enjoyed it. When are you appearing again? No one said, no, I didn't, I feel awful. Because that doesn't realistically happen.
So what do you believe will happen now that the authorities are getting their nose into hypnotism? Where's that going to end?
Well, I think it'll all die down. As soon as the fuss has died down, they'll all forget about what they were doing to start with. I would like to see national registration. I doubt that they will do that. I would think they will close Section 5, which allows people to do research shows without licensing from the local authority. But apart from that, I don't think much will change in the 52 Act.
Well, you see, it would, I think, as you say, be the best idea would be to pick an organisation and say, right, you're the benchmark of excellence.
That's right. Session and the British Council want to work together towards that aim. Yeah, that's what we all want, to say, right, okay, if people are members of an organisation, great. If they're not, they don't get licences. Very simple, very easy.
Okie dokie.
But getting the government to agree to that is a lot more difficult.
Well, it makes sense, that's why.
Yes, it makes sense. Let's get everyone out there so we know who's working, where, when, and to what standard.
You see, I'd like to see exactly the same thing happening in therapy.
Yes.
And also happening in schools.
Yeah.
I.e. schools of hypnotism. People who actually teach hypnotism, I think there should be a standard of excellence there as well.
Yes, because unfortunately people can pick up a book, read it, think they know everything. They read the first chapter how to put you to sleep, the last chapter how to wake them up, and to hell with the middle bit.
I could never find any books like that when I wanted to learn to do it. I had to pay money.
There are quite a few around now, unfortunately.
Oh, damn, well, that's... There's another of me and Zappa's money-making ideas gone out the window. Blow the gap in a book.
Yeah, I know. It's sickening, isn't it?
Never mind, it happens to me every day. Listen, Safak, if you just hold on the lines, I want to find out where you're, when you're going to be doing, I'll rephrase that, when you're playing locally, darlings. Okay. Coming up, we've got Noel, we've got the Ketley Junta, he's going to be there, we've got Jan, and we've got Stu, and we'll speak to them after these.
With only 1 million tickets and £450,000 plus in prizes, you have a better chance of winning with Littlewood's Instant Lotteries than you have of completing the Cresta Run with a male voice choir sitting astride a fairground organ. Littlewood's Instant Lotteries, at selected newsagents and Littlewood stores.
Settle down. Einstein's theory of relativity, McDonald's extra value meals. Even today, in the late 20th century, these are concepts that aren't wholly understood. Take McDonald's extra value meals, for example. A Big Mac, medium fries, and medium soft drink, if you buy them separately, cost £3.38. But a Big Mac extra value meal, which is exactly the same meal, costs only £2.88. A saving of 50p. 50p from nowhere. How is it done? Even Einstein couldn't explain it.
Of course he couldn't. He's dead.
We asked the cows about anchor spreadable butter. Well, I've seen a bull wing, I've seen a cow slip, I've seen a bullseye. Hey, lovely circus smash. Here there is real butter that was straight from the fridge, and I've never seen anything like it in my life. You know, I've seen a sea cow, I've seen a bull, I've seen a cowhide. Hey, where are you? Here there is real butter that was straight from the fridge, and I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Anchor spreadable, real butter that spreads straight from the fridge.
Sorry, just having a little chit-chat, passing the time of day about, various hypnotic elements and things. Ketley Junta, you are next.
Yeah, yes.
Good morning.
Good
Have you ever been
morning.
hypnotised?
Pardon?
Have you ever been hypnotised, Noel?
No, I haven't, Ian. It would be an experience I would like to try.
Yes. Who would the experience before, though? You or the hypnotist?
I don't know. Ian.
Yes, no.
Whose birthday is it they're talking about? Is it your birthday?
On the 24th of December, Noel, if you wanted to send money, yes.
Yeah, well, okay. My birthday, Ian, is the 26th of December.
Which is probably why you're called Noel.
What exactly?
Hey.
How the bloody hell did you work that out, Ian?
Oh, years of professional training, Noel.
Well, there you are.
A detective's name.
Well, there you are.
Oh, God, this thing.
Yeah, 26th of December, that's my birthday.
Should anybody be leapy enough to want to send you Claymore whiskey or anything?
Well, I can't think of anybody who would like to do that, but nevertheless, if they want to do,
you know,
I would be very welcome.
The amount you appear to drink, Noel, I'm completely surprised that your internal organs haven't done a runner by now.
You want to talk to my children?
No, I don't.
My daughters.
One's quite enough, thank you.
Yeah, nevertheless. What am I trying to say, Ian?
I don't know, Noel.
No, neither do I.
Why don't you go to... I'll tell you what, if I was you, I'd go to Jamaica and become a limbo dancer, because most things seem to go over your head.
Yeah?
Eh? No, I'm not going to Jamaica to be a limbo dancer. No, I just scrub that one, Noel. Forget what I said. I think you should go to Jamaica to become a limbo dancer because most things go over your head. Right? Okay, well, just scrub that one. A carefully rehearsed line. I've been waiting absolutely weeks to use it. Right, thank you very much.
You're trying to confuse me, aren't you? You're trying very well to confuse me.
No, to confuse you, I'd have to give you 2 spades and tell you to take your pick.
Of course you would.
Whoops, there it goes again. Anyway, what did you want to talk about? Hello?
You confused me now. What were we talking about, Ian?
Something about you being a limbo dancer.
Oh, I couldn't limbo dance, could I?
Yes, you could, because everything goes over your head. That's the gag, you see. The limbo dancers...
No, I've listened to the programme tonight. There was a lot of things I would like to say, but I can't remember what was bloody said.
Well, never mind, no, you enjoy the rest of your scotch.
All right, Ian.
And send our regards to the single brain cell that appears to be left.
You're very cruel.
I'm not.
You blooming are.
Hey, no. No, maybe this is the start. If you can't remember, I mean, it starts like this, doesn't it?
Well, of course.
Start not being able to remember, then before you know where you are, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're at the bus stop, totally naked apart from a pair of tartan slippers with pom-poms on them, and you can't remember how you got there.
I'm very sorry about that.
Oh, it happened. Yeah, this is a slippery slope, Noel.
God bless everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okie dokie.
Ta-ra, Ian.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ra, matey.
Bye-bye. Oh, dear. Noel on the Midnight Line at Beacon and WABC. Some semblance of common sense attacking you now from Jan. Good morning.
Oh, morning. What made you think of common sense?
Well, Noel, really, I think.
Oh, bless him, he's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Phone show presenters have nightmares about people like Noel. You lie in bed with your eyes open, you're trying to go to sleep, and all that goes round in your head is Noel might phone phone.
That's enough to put you on the brink of insanity.
What do you mean the brink? That's hit the light fantastic well over that mark.
Oh, that's wonderful. I don't know what the hell I was going to ring you about anyway. I was going to tell you about the weird story, but anyway. Yeah, but then, you see, you could look at it another way, because he's supposedly Asian, which nobody really knows yet, but he is. Couldn't you look at it from a prejudice point of view? Or could he not be sort of more concerned because of his creed rather than what he's done?
No, I think that if you win, regardless of race, colour, creed, age, or any other factor I could think of off the top of my head, you're going to be big news, aren't you?
Well, if it was me, I mean, I'd have phoned them up myself, but I've decided...
I got the 10 grand.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said, you know, look... It
doesn't matter how much money you've got, there's always room in the bank account, a little bit more.
I can always find room for more.
Well, I could actually find room for some at the moment. Any, oh, I haven't even started that.
That's your card. That cost me another 25 cents.
Oh, you're very kind. You make me feel so humble. Really humble. It actually makes me feel sad that I'm taking a week off over Christmas.
I can't join you in those, though, can I? That's the trouble.
That's it then, till I think the 4th of January.
Oh, it's just the day before the kids go back to school.
That's right.
Oh, sanity reigns again.
Yeah. So we didn't have a summer break this year, so it wasn't a winter one.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Just sitting at home in front of the roaring fire, you know.
Oh, I know, the Rayburn. Yeah, here we go.
Yes, that's me. Have you ever tried getting a plumber?
Yeah, I've got one. I live with one.
Oh, did you?
It's a nightmare.
That's quite handy, really, isn't it?
No.
If I lived with a plumber, then my central heating would be fixed.
Don't be silly, Ian. Don't be silly. You do it yourself if you live with a plumber. You do it for everyone else and you mend your own tap.
How do you enlighten me as to the mystery of how you flush out a central heating system?
Well,
what do you do? You surround it with armed policemen, you know, come out, central heating system, we know you're in there.
Well, I don't know. As far as I know, you turn off all your bungs and your taps and you drain it and turn your main water off and then let it back in again. I mean, I honestly don't know.
Oh, great, right.
I mean, mine's been rumbling for about 15 years now. I can change the washer on at times.
Because mine doesn't work, that's the problem. I mean, mine is full outside, and so my radiators are refusing to cooperate in a very noble task of keeping me warm. A lot of them got an answer. I've actually only found one with an answering machine.
Oh, I don't know. I've got an answering machine, but I'm switching it off.
One? And even he hasn't phoned back.
Well, no, because he's not in.
Yeah, but I certainly got him banged to rights. He lives in the same road as my sister.
Oh, well, you've had that now.
Thinks he's so clever,
Oh,
does he,
but never asked for me photos now. You've got my address.
Thinks he can avoid the long hand of the Perry, does he?
You reckon?
Yeah. And the other lot, I phoned up this emergency lot, right? And it said, plumber in your area, we'll dispatch one within the hour.
No,
right.
Sam. No,
Right, I'm going to do that. So I phoned up, and they went through, what's the problem? Have you got a Rayburn? Yes, I've got a Rayburn. Is it a combination boiler? I said, well, a combination of what? And they explained all that, and they're very nice. And then,
It's just some logs that cause the problem.
and then they said, 35 quid an hour. Put the 35 quid? Yeah. I was walking around, and I was thinking, 35 quid for, all right, well, I'll get my heating fixed. I'll get my heating fixed. 35 quid, but I get my heating fixed. Oh, that makes sense. And I was like, why did it take them 3 hours? That's a lot of money, and £105 to get my heating fixed. I know, I was thinking, well, normally, you know, when people turn up, I say, would you like a cup of tea? But I mean, if he'd have turned up £35 an hour, get on with it, go on. You haven't got time to breathe, get fixed in now.
If you've not got it fixed by Friday, I'll ring you and tell you.
Well, that's very kind of
He's
you.
very busy, but I'll try and, you know, wheedle it. But I don't know about right. I've no idea.
Well, it can't be much. I think it's just a blockage in the pipe.
You're bunged up. Just drain your radiators and redo them again. Turn on your taps
I
and
don't
drain
even know
them.
how to drain them, but it's a better suggestion than my mate had. He said that if it's bunged up, you should just open up the little nut at the end, or whatever it is, and insert some X-Lax chocolate.
You're fine, right. Well, I think whiskey'd probably do better, or vodka, I'm not sure.
Vodkas I can recommend, especially the Russian stuff, like drinking surgical
Oh,
spirit.
you've been on that stuff, have you?
Well, the captain brought us some 100% stuff back.
Oh, it's wonderful stuff.
It certainly is.
I know, I've got a bottle looking at me, but I still can't drink it. I've been
Never
banned
mind.
from boozing for about 12
Well,
months.
you're not missing anything.
I am.
We sound like Orville, then.
I haven't. Oh, no, you're not.
Oh, no, you're just missing the hangovers.
That's it. it. I'm just missing the horrible feeling, yeah.
Yeah, that's no good for you. I mean, I was practically teetotal myself.
Oh, yes, Ian, I know.
I am.
You tell lies as well, I know.
No, I have to be done because of the job.
Yeah, but you can move when you get in, or...
No, well, that's no fun, is it?
No, not
3
really.
o'clock in the morning in a freezing house. Radiators on. Sat there with a... Because Julie's in bed, I've got my duffel coat on.
Well, there are lots of things you could do.
Well, like what?
Well, I'm not going to tell you over the air.
Yeah, but Julie's going to be up at work.
What's up, Matthew? She can have a day off.
No, we don't do days off.
Oh, you don't?
No, I've only had 1 day off in 13 years.
Oh, is that right?
Mm.
Oh, right.
So there, don't do
I don't know
that.
whether to say you bark me or brave. I'm not sure which.
Self-employed.
Or is that the reason? Right.
Anyway, if you could find out how to bleed a radiator.
I will find out. I'm sure you do yourself. I'll tell you what, I'll ring you tomorrow night. We'll be in a spare an hour, so I will find out and I will ring you tomorrow and tell you.
And it's all to do with stopcocks and things.
No, your valve on the side of your radio.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know where those are. Right.
I'm halfway there. I will definitely find out and ring you tomorrow night.
You're very kind. I'll speak to you again.
Bye.
Midnight Line on Beacon and WABC. We've got people on the lines in a moment. He's a first-time caller. But first of all, we'll speak to Sue. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Stop me radiators refusing to cooperate on the coldest night of the year. Thank you, God. Thank you so much.
Well, they always do let you down when you need them the most.
They do, don't they? It's from the nature, personality of your average radiator. It's getting very surreal, isn't it? You radiators have personality. It's just pure smart.
Never just come back up. I mean, after the fruit picking season, they never go up. After the sort of holiday places have shut down, and all the people that were employed sort of at the hot dog places and all that, they never go up again. And after the Christmassy kind of jobs, the part-time jobs in shops and things like that, they never go up.
Do you believe then that when they say seasonally adjusted, what they actually mean is wipe a million off, they'll never notice?
Yeah. I think that, because every day, without fail, I mean, even just on the local news, the factories shutting down, there's so many made redundant here, so many made redundant there, and they don't all walk straight into jobs, so they must sort of boost the figures upwards again, yet they're always going down.
What do you believe the importance of the unemployment figures are? Because I would have thought that if you're unemployed, it's a personal thing, isn't it? I mean, if somebody said, oh, there's 4 million like you, it's hardly any comfort.
That's right, it's feel good, isn't it?
So it's for the rest of the nation to digest.
Yes, so they can say, oh, well, we're not doing so badly, are we? Well, we are really, but they just don't tell you we are. I mean, I'm going to be forced now. I've been unemployed 18 months nearly, and I'm going to be forced to go onto a scheme, which will mean I'm earning an extra £10 a week for doing what really amounts to a full-time job. Basically, you said before, well, they can take you off the list because you're not classed as unemployed. You still have to go to job club 3 hours a week, included in that, so you are still technically classed as looking for work.
They want a fair amount for the pittance they give you, don't they?
Well, that's right, yeah. I had a look at the boards last time I was in the job centre for the sort of community action, and it was like land clearance and things like that, where they want you to go in and get all the rough grass and everything off hillsides and things like that, and plant trees and things like that. I mean, that's hard manual work. You get your £10, but I think they'll only give you £4 travelling expenses. So you pay the, well, no, anything over £4 they give you. So you pay the first £4 and they pay anything over. So you're actually only getting £6 a week.
What stopped you getting a job for 18 months?
Oh, I've been trying.
I'm not disputing it. I'm just wondering what seems to be the hurdle that you're tripping over.
Well, transport. I live in the country and the transport to where jobs were, i.e. Telford, wasn't available. And I used to get a car, which months and months of trying to earn money off everybody I could possibly think of, because you've got no time to be back to anything if you're unemployed. Eventually somebody did say they'd lend me the money, and I've got a car now. But having been on the dole so long, you've got a gap. I mean, my CV sort of says, up until July 93 I was employed at such and such a place, and then there's a gap until now. And they say, well,
they think, well, you've got a car now, but if it breaks down, you're going to be unreliable for work. You know.
Problem is that employers have the whip hand at the moment, don't they? I was watching a program before that I can't remember the name of it, but it's largely based on the American TV show 60 Minutes. And unfortunately, it doesn't quite have the pizzazz because it's not introduced by Americans who are rather good at that sort of thing. And they were looking at after ageism, after sexism, we've now got illism.
Yeah.
You know, that if you're ill, you get fired.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's another consequence of the social weapon of 4 million or whatever you want to call it unemployed.
Well, exactly. I mean, in this day and age, you haven't got the chance to say, well, I hate this job, I'm leaving it, I'll have a new job on Monday. I mean, there are so many people to choose from that they can say, well, you know, you're sort of at the age you might be getting married and having children, so we'll pick somebody who's leaving school.
And if you look at the amount of people who apply for jobs, even getting your CV read is going to be something of a lottery, isn't it?
Well, I mean, the number of places who said, oh yes, we'll keep you on file, and if any jobs come up, we'll let you know. Well, I mean, I think they put file under there on the CV because I've never heard anything to this day. And I know for a fact that companies have been taking on, so if you get me that's got a major defect, and or that they've just got so many to choose from, that they just say, well, you know, we'll pick somebody.
After 18 months, have you ever thought,
You do, but then they start in, actually, I had a restart interview, I think it was called, last week or the week before, and they sort of said, oh, there's 3 job centres within your driving area, visit them at least once a week, if not twice. I mean, the overall mileage just to visit them would be about 100 miles, but they don't offer you anything towards the petrol or anything like that. You get papers, I mean, you have to pay for the papers yourselves, you have to pay for the stamps yourselves. I mean, if I like do a job job, would just pay for all that for me, but they're all 7 miles away, so it's all money.
So I just thought what you could put in, you know, when you said there's a big gap on your CV, why don't you write self-employed coronation flagstone?
Self-employed papers is I'm an expert on teleprogram. If anybody could find me a job that's involved hours and hours of mindless telewatching, I'd do well away.
You could be a researcher for Melrose, couldn't you?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
I'd start the lottery when I spent their money. Back in the piles up all there, I don't mind doing that.
No, it was only 9 million you won. No, definitely, not 17. No, 7 golden pockets of his left.
Yeah.
Do you tell the truth on your CV?
Yes, I do.
Do you? Where did you watch the job? I don't believe anybody tells the truth. I don't. It's so long since I sent one out, though. But
Well, in what way? I mean, I tell them my right age. If I press the dress, it's not...
yeah, but when it comes to interest, you want to make yourself like sound as exciting as possible. I always think this is a bit of a mistake, actually, because nobody is going to give you nobody is going to employ anybody who is likely to take their job off them, are they?
Right. I mean, they always say you should make your interest sort of work for you. But my interests are sort of, a lot of things are sort of solitary, like walking and, you know, music and things like that. They say if you put too many things that involve clubs, then they think, well, this person, maybe you'll need time off to be involved with these clubs. I mean, you can't really win. And I don't see what that's really got to do with the job anyway.
Well, no, I've often wondered myself. Why are they interested in the fact that I like abseiling? What's that got to do with anything?
Well, I suppose it says you're an adventurous person.
Yeah, you see, that's why people tell lies, isn't it? I mean, I've written abseiling before.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I did once down a tree when I was about 6. That'll do, won't it?
Well, I fell out of a tree once, so that counts.
There you go, skydiving.
Oh, well.
Right, skydiving, that's one of your big interests.
Yeah, but then they might see me as a risk, and they might say, well, this person's likely to get splattered one weekend.
Right.
I can't risk it.
Well, then what, do you go the other end, the other side, then? You put couch potato. No, they're not going to employ you then because you might come across as too dull.
Well, this is right. I mean, you can't win where CVs are concerned. I mean, the only way you can sell yourself is at an interview. And 9 times out of 10 you apply for a job, and you don't even get an interview. You don't even get a letter to say that they've received your letter. So yes, you do get disheartened, and you do get sort of to the point of thinking, oh God, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to sit around and wait for somebody to drop a job in my lap.
Or wait for death.
Oh yeah, I think I'll get
get that before I get a job at this rate.
Yeah, there's wait to die.
But,
Do you ever feel like you're wasting your life? I mean, I'm not saying purposely wasting it, but that life's just passing you by.
well, you do. When you think, well, 2 years has gone, sort of you've had the potential to have earned, well, in my last job, it was very low paid. It was only about £5,000 a year, and it was quite a dangerous job in a factory. You think, well, I've lost nearly £10,000 in money because I haven't had a job, and everything I could have done with it if I'd have had a job, kind of thing. And you see other people going on holiday and all this, and you think, well, that's not for me, because I couldn't even raise the money for a train ticket to Wolverhampton, sort of thing.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, I have to get the man-sized Kleenex.
I'll have to do one of those telly adverts, won't I?
Well, send me some money, I'm poor, I am.
If you send me £200 this Christmas, you could make my life so much better.
Not a bad idea, that. I might try that one between now and Christmas on this show.
The big sympathy day.
I'll go for it. Listen, thanks for coming on, and good luck with looking for a job. Because they always say that it started just before the dawn.
Oh, yes, but it's been dark for quite a long time.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to point out that the people who say that are generally lying.
Yeah, and the other thing they also say is when you've got a job, you'll get lots of different jobs offered you. And maybe that's where everybody's going wrong. They offer the jobs to people who've already got jobs.
I think there's a lot in that.
And they should pick people who haven't got jobs to give jobs to.
Every job that I've ever had, right from leaving university, I've never filled an application form in. It's all been done on, I know somebody who knows somebody.
Well, that's how I was when I was working as a nanny.
And then, you see, the problem is if you fall out of the employment system, then you don't have that.
That's right.
Which is rather unfair, but that just seems to be the way it works. I've never, ever filled an application form in.
Well, I think on your CV you shouldn't have to put dates. You should just put the jobs that you've actually done. Because when you do get a big gap, they think, well, either this person's been wasting their time for a year and a half, or they're basically useless. But if you just put the jobs you've done, they say, oh, they can do this job, they've done it before. And then you could go and have a go.
Sounds fair enough to me. We thank you very much for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No night.
No night. We all used to say that to me. Where were we? That was Sue, spoke to Jam, spoke to Noel, spoke to Busy, Roger, Gavin. It is. Oh, no, Peter, isn't it? And it's his first time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Peter. He didn't hurt a bit, did it?
No. It's your first time call already, though?
Well, it's the first time I've spoken to you.
Yeah, well...
So I'm just as nervous.
Well, I'm talking about my son. He's been bullied at school, right, bullied, and he's left home, right?
How old is he?
13.
And he's not there now?
No, he's left.
On a night like this?
He's been left 4 days now. Well, nearly a week. He's been left nearly a week and he hasn't come back.
Has he tried to contact you?
No.
You've informed the police?
I've informed the police, yes.
And which area is he missing in?
In Briley Hill. That's in the Dudley. In the West Midlands.
And he left?
He left.
Because he was being bullied at school?
Yeah.
So, if he's listening...
Yeah.
Just get in touch?
Yeah.
No recriminations, no nothing, you just want to find out he's safe?
Yeah.
Okay, what's his name?
Peter. So after me.
Okay, so if Peter's listening, how long's he been gone? A week?
Yeah.
Get in touch with your dad.
Yeah. And his mum. And his 4 children. His 3 brothers and his sister.
Have you any idea where he might have gone?
No.
The police have checked all his friends' houses?
Yeah.
And nothing?
Nothing.
Did he leave with any money on him?
No.
Did he
left with nothing.
No possessions?
No. Left with nothing at all. All he left was his school clothes.
So he went out, although he was going to go to school?
Never went to school. He hasn't been there for a week. We contact the school and we contact the police every day.
Well, still nothing?
Still nothing.
Okay, well, if he is listening to this, and I hope he is, then all you got to do, Peter, is pick up your phone and speak to your family because they're worried about you.
Yeah.
Okay then, Peter?
Yeah. Also, do you know any charities that we can get any Christmas toys from? Because we haven't got anything at all.
Social services, I would think.
Yeah, we've contacted them as well.
And what did they say?
Nothing yet. They haven't let us know. We got no Christmas toys, we got no trimmings. We got nothing at all.
But apart from that, everything's shaping up brilliantly.
Oh, yeah. I'm unemployed as well.
I would try the social services, because that's what we collect as a station, but as a station you can't give it to individuals, you have to give it to organisations, and that's where ours go. So tell them you've spoken to us and we've said you can have some.
It's how that is, is it?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Just tell them you spoke to us.
Can you send me a couple of signed photos?
Yeah, you're going to have to hang on the lines, though. If you hang on there, we'll sort you out. First lady of the Midnight Line, in person herself, and next. Good morning.
Good morning, good looking.
Why, what you got cooking?
Spaghetti bolognese. It's not the only thing that's saucy.
Ooh, is it rich and saucy?
Very rich and saucy. The very best. The best you'll get.
Mrs. One day this is going to be apple turnover, and I'd really like to turn over you.
Yeah, oh, very good.
You like that one?
Yeah, oh, beating me up now. I'll have to find some more catchphrases.
No, I like that one. You stick with that one. I like that.
I went out especially today and found a cardboard box for Noel.
Did you?
Yeah, it's a Claymore's box, but unfortunately it's empty.
And this is, so this is so he can go and live in a cardboard box for a week.
Yeah, and I thought I'd get him the real McCoy, you know, seeing though he's partial to Claymore's. I thought I'd get him the empty box.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a drinks cabinet in it.
Yeah, all corrugated cardboard, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Plenty of space.
Just what you want.
Yeah.
You're a very kind and a very thoughtful person, actually.
I know, a lot of thought went into that, you see.
Let's play more one.
The tabloid press.
God bless them, Her Majesty's Press.
They make me laugh. Do as I say and not as I do. Their headlines over the last few months, bribery and corruption and cash for questions in Parliament. And then what do? The Mirror offers £5,000 and the Sun offers £10,000 bribe for people to name the winner.
We've got the cash if you can answer the question.
And then they're criticising other people for their downfalls. Absolutely ridiculous. They're saying one thing and doing another.
Well, there is a difference, isn't there? Because in Parliament, £2,000 would buy you a question.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Mirror and the Sun, £5,000 and £10,000 answers you a question.
Yeah, because they know very well that if there's any cousins or relatives of him that don't feel they're going to get any money, or any neighbours that have heard that he's got a winning, that, if they aren't going to get anything, I mean, it's an easy £5,000 to make, isn't it?
I'd certainly make the call.
Yeah, I'd make the call even if I won $17.5 million. I wouldn't throw another £5,000 away. I'm not that bloody daft.
I certainly wouldn't.
I'd use that for my pocket change for the week.
And would you have something hot and saucy for the press when they arrive?
Yeah, but it won't be spaghetti bolognese.
Well, you'd be on page 3, wouldn't you, if it was the Sun?
I certainly would.
Oh, aye.
Going back to that Cinderella's Club.
Which Cinderella's Club's that, then?
The one that was in Leeds I was on about.
Oh, yes, the one where they have topless... No, they don't.
You said they didn't have any the night you went.
No, they didn't. They were off. They were all...
Or the week you went, or...
They all had terrible colds. all that dancing about without any vests on, that's, I think, what brought it on. And so they basically weren't there that week or 2 weeks, or in fact for the entire 12 months I lived in Leeds.
Oh,
sad, really, isn't
12
it?
months, yeah. You went every night and you didn't see a go-go dancer.
No, not one.
Oh, there was some nice fellas dancing on the stage, I tell you, in their little G-string panties. Ooh. Did it all right, they were.
I say.
Anyway, these employment figures, they say, have dropped. It's only because it's seasonal work. After the January sales, they'll be back up again. They always are. There's a young girl that rang a few weeks ago, said she got a job temporary for so many weeks, up to Christmas, and that's what they do. They do exactly the same as Easter. One extra staff into making Easter eggs and that and other. Back on the dole again, back in work again, seasonal work in the summer. So the figures do fluctuate, don't they?
Inwardly digesting the information, what you were putting to it. It's nice, yeah.
You're so articulate.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very inarticulate. Look there. On the script, very inarticulate. Yeah, I would question why we have to seasonally adjust anyway.
Yeah, but they they brag when the figures go down of the unemployed, and then they say when they go back up again, oh, it's seasonally adjusted. Well, they never say that when the figures go down, do they? They only say it when people are back on the dole and they say unemployment up by so many percent. They say, oh, because it's seasonal and all this, that and the other, but they never use that as an excuse as the employment figures going down, only when the employment figures go up, unemployment figures go up.
Do we have to be realistic about it? It's 1994, it's nearly 1995. Have we seen the last of full employment?
I think for quite a while, yeah, until they get the right things going in this country. We're always going to have large unemployment, probably until the year 2000. And I feel sorry for the kids that have left school the last 12 months that haven't been able to have unemployment benefit are now entitled to it. And then they're giving them these, like that lady said before, £10 a week for a full-time job. I know a lad that was working in a carpet factory, rolling around these great, big, massive carpets for 12 months for £10 a week. There'll be a job at the end. No, there wasn't. He finished his 12 months and he was still out to work at the end of it.
So what worries me, you see, I was looking at the telly before, and they were examining this in a pretty cack-handed way, it has to be said. But there's a school that's basically introduced incentives. If you're a good kid and you work hard, you get entered into a draw, and the winner of the draw gets to go to McDonald's. Right?
Yeah.
Now, they interviewed a few kids, and they said, what do you think of this? And they said, oh, it's a great scheme, and we're really going to work hard. And the guy said, well, what if the scheme was withdrawn? He said, well, we wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering whether or not the message is getting through to kids that education ultimately serves its own purpose. And it's up to you to get one. And if you don't get one, your life's going to be so much harder in a few years' time.
Yeah, but we've still got students that have left 2 or 3 years ago, still haven't found employment. 1 minute on your application form, they're asking for so many O-levels, A-levels, this, that and the other. And when you turn up for the job, they'll give it say, oh, you haven't got the experience. Somebody a bit older go for the job because they've got the experience. Oh, you haven't got your O-levels and A-levels. You know, they contradict themselves.
But then with so many million people unemployed, you can afford to contradict yourself, can't you? And you can find somebody who's got both.
Yeah, and there's so many in employment that fear for the jobs. They put up with appalling working conditions that they wouldn't have if the European got into it and had a look at some of the conditions that some of our workers work in this country. But they don't complain because they're frightened of their job. Oh, it's easy for them to lose a job, and they'll just pick somebody else up out of the pile and put them in, innit?
Well, the latest, you've just sparked something I read today, that the government are apparently trying to get our European partners, especially France and Greece and Italy, to bring the VAT rates on